Going on YouTube? It's your boy DayReacts back with another reaction video. This time we're watching a crime video, Dr. Insanity. Dad realizes his daughter's body was found in the garbage can. Before we even get into the video, bro, that's absolutely insane. Obviously we don't know yet exactly what happened, but we can assume his daughter was murdered and probably unfortunately cut up and put inside a garbage can, but these type of videos always have twists and stuff like that. For all we know, it was him or his wife or somebody that did it. But let's get into the video.
Whoa! Yeah. Gun? There's all sorts of blood in here. She's in there.
Okay, wait. I think I'm already trying to like piece together what I think happened. Obviously, like of course I could be completely wrong, but they were searching someone's house in their garage. Obviously, you can look. They're in someone's garage searching the house and looked in the garbage can. And so they said the woman is missing. So if she's missing, it might have been the dad that did it, like I said.
Is that home? What? She here?
Police are at the home of Keith and Amber Zotto. Amber's mother, Betty, had called 911 earlier that day, asking officers to check on her daughter. Amber hadn't responded to any calls or messages in 2 days, and Betty feared the worst. The officers arriving at the scene initially expected a routine missing persons call, but what's said inside the house would be far more twisted and disturbing than anyone could have
Bro, the
imagined.
houses in these crime videos are always disgusting.
I got the dog! Get up! The ground! He's reaching! Stop!
I ain't gonna lie, this is gonna be a good one.
When police first arrive at the Zotto home, they encounter something strange. Only Keith and Amber's children answer the door, claiming their parents are gone and they don't know when they'll be back. This alarms the officers, so they decide to call Betty, the person who originally dialed 911, hoping she can shed some light on the situation. But what Betty reveals to officers would quickly transform this simple welfare check into one of the town's most disturbing mysteries yet.
Hello?
Betty, it's Officer Crowley, Aurora Police Department. I'm at the Milan Circle address. I'm talking to the kids. What's your relation to this family, just so I know?
I'm their grandma. She didn't take her truck because you can see it in the driveway.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Her phone, the bank card is still in the house.
Yeah. Betty, how many times do you think she's done that?
Well, she's come over to my house. Oh, 3-4 times this year.
All right.
So it's the grandma that made the call?
So what I'd like to do is start where we always start, and that's the last place she was seen. I don't want to ask these kids for permission to go in the house, so I may have to call your son-in-law, talk to him on the phone, and see if he'll give me permission to go inside.
Betty would mention that she had been to the house earlier that day and noticed a few strange details. Amber's car was still in the driveway of the home, and her phone was left inside the house, as well as all of her credit cards and important documents. These minute details would prove to be much more important later on. Shortly after this call, Betty and her husband Ronald arrived at their daughter's home to meet with the police. It's here where Betty would reveal what she believed really happened to her daughter.
Hey, I'm Officer Crowley. Thanks for coming out. So I called him, but I left him a message. He didn't pick the phone up. So I can't just go inside without a warrant. I'd either need a warrant or his permission to go inside the house. And that's not your residence, and I can't ask you for permission. They obviously
So I'm a little confused about who's who. So are they talking to the grandma that Amber's grandma that made the call? Obviously Amber's the person that's missing. So are they talking to her grandma right now and the grandma made the call? But whose house are they at? And they're like when they're talking about his permission, who is that?
So just want to do it the right way before anything else, if that makes sense.
Yep.
When's the last time that you saw your daughter?
Saturday afternoon.
Also, it's her
when I came
daughter.
to pick up the kids. They spent the night with me Saturday night.
Was there any problems at that point, or was it just pick the kids up? The kids are going to stay at her house for the weekend?
Everything was fine. She said, I hope you feel better. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
It's pretty.
Had there been any drinking at that point for the
Oh, heck
weekend?
no. They drink in the evenings.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I think I know what's going on. Or like I kind of understand. So the kids at the door. So Amber, I thought Amber was like a teenager or something. So I guess she's an adult and she has kids or whatever. And so the kids were at the door and their dad, that's whose house they're at right now. And so the grandma, okay, I think I got it now.
Oh, yeah.
And then no sign that there had been any argument or anything
No.
like that.
No.
Okay. As you can see, I don't want you to think that I dropped any conclusions, but I'm just trying to put like a kind of a piece of timeline and kind of behavior as well too.
According to Betty, the family typically had dinner together on the weekends, and although Keith and Amber occasionally argued, things never turned physical, at least not to her knowledge. But with no parents home, officers still couldn't legally enter the residence, so they continued speaking with Betty, hoping she'd reveal something that could explain Amber's sudden disappearance. Betty explained that Amber was highly active in the community, volunteering at her children's elementary school as the treasurer of the parent organization, and everyone around town knew her as a family-first mother, spending most of her time with her children. That's why Amber's disappearance was so puzzling. It simply wasn't like her to spontaneously leave her kids alone. But this confusion would only heighten when Betty showed officers something that made the case even more unsettling. A note suggesting Amber might have harmed herself.
The note is what concerns
Do you mind if I read that?
I don't have a problem with
Is this a copy of it, or is this?
Yes, I made a copy. I don't know. This is the original.
Okay.
I didn't want to.
Just from my report, I'm going to have to take the original for evidence for property at some point, okay?
Okay.
But I'm going to sit and read this in the meantime.
The note Betty had discovered.
Okay, let's read it.
The more I learned at ECPI, the more I fell in love with cybersecurity.
Accelerated degrees in cybersecurity.
Discovered earlier.
I haven't been the best wife. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. No, the handwriting is hard to read. I haven't been the best wife. I deserve everything and all the horrible thoughts you think of me. I have always had, they blurred that part out, in my mind. Make sure my mom has to identify my body. Everyone would be better off without me. Yo, and possibly, thing they did, well, I don't know if they said that she, had thoughts of killing herself, but he could have wrote the note. Like right now, who's probably their prime suspect and my prime suspect is Keith. I'm pretty sure that's like her husband or boyfriend, whatever, and the father to the two kids. Um, he probably he's like the chief suspect right now, and if he did in fact kill her, it's possible that to he wrote that so that when they find out, obviously like they're gonna find out that she's missing and like that she's dead eventually, but when they find that, they think she wrote it and that she ended up killing herself, so that'll cause them to not look at him that he actually killed her.
Read in part.
I haven't been the best wife. I deserve everything and all the horrible thoughts you think of me. I have.
Because also, I'm gonna try not to pause so much, but also, a lot of times, like the abusive husbands and stuff like that, they'll try to like twist it and make you think that it's the wife's fault, or that like him putting hands on you or like whatever he's doing like abuse wise is their fault. And so if he really believes that, he's writing it out like what he really believes, but he's making it seem like it was her that wrote it so that people think she killed herself versus him actually killing her.
I've always had that in my mind. Make sure my mom has to identify my body. Everyone would be better off without me.
At first glance, the note appears as a tragic, heartfelt goodbye. Amber seemingly detailing years of self-doubt, despair, and emotional pain. But something about this note didn't align with what police knew about Amber. According to her mother, whenever Amber and Keith fought, Amber always stayed at her parents' house and had never just disappeared. Certainly not without contacting her family first. And although Betty clarified that her daughter had a history of self-harm ideation and emotional struggles, the note's tone sounded off. Especially the disturbingly specific instructions for her own mother to identify her body, which seemed strangely cruel. To investigators, these unusual details hinted at the chilling possibility that the note wasn't exactly what it appeared. They began to suspect Amber might not have written these words freely.
I'm telling you, bro. What did I just say, bro? I'm really a detective, bro. Put me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm finna apply to the academy, bro. What did I just
Something
said
wasn't
that?
right. So based on these signs,
Bro,
officers
y'all like the
decided to
video,
speak
man.
with Betty again, this time on the oddities found inside the note.
Do you think it's something that would he harm her in any way? Would you have any either information or inkling that that might happen? No. Okay. If she had walked away, I mean, I'm just wondering where else or how far she could have gone.
She has walked to our house. We're in 70.
Yeah.
When she's been drinking and can't.
I understand. Of course.
So she's made it that
I agree.
far.
That's why I'm so concerned.
And that's where, that's why I searched Sunrise Park, because that's the closest park to here. And I don't know why in my head it's, you're not going to do it in your home. You might do it too,
Yeah.
Betty would also find the note strange, but doesn't think Keith would have anything to do with Amber's disappearance. At this point, nothing makes sense. So, without any further clues, officers decide to move to the next step in their investigation, searching the property. As we know, without the homeowner's permission, officers still can't go inside the house without a proper search warrant. Fortunately, by using the kids, they were able to get on the phone with Amber's husband, Keith, hoping to get the permission they needed.
Dad?
The cops are here and they want to talk to you.
Is this Keith?
Yes, this is Keith.
Keith, this is Officer Crowley with the Aurora Police. How are you?
I'm alright, boss. How are you?
I'd like to go over a couple series of events and then ask you for permission if I could go inside your house. And where we start searches is the last place she was seen, and that would be your house. But I don't have a warrant, and I'm asking you for permission to go inside your house too.
Go ahead, man.
Luckily, Keith seemed to have no problem letting officers search his home. While one officer continued his conversation with Keith, another would immediately.
What are you still doing here? You still have not downloaded Pi Adblock? You know I'm just gonna keep showing up on your screen until you download.
Immediately begin searching the property, completely unaware they were both minutes away from uncovering the horrifying truth. But before we continue, it's worth noting that covering stories like this, you realize just how much people are forced to carry. Fear, trauma, even the day-to-day burden of surviving. And sometimes that weight shows up
Skip this.
in 10 years you owe. Relieved of jet-free fast pilot. That yes.
We gotta get better at the skips, bro.
Said, let's get back to the investigation. One of the officers was about to search the family's home, with no idea just how close they were to discovering the gruesome scene hidden in plain sight.
So Keith gave verbal consent for us to go in the house. I'm just gonna go in. If you want to come with me,
I will,
because I'd like you to show me. Okay. Where did you find the notebook?
In the garage.
In the
That's why
garage.
they
Okay.
literally live there.
Okay, let's start there then.
So Keith, in a bigger picture, what's going on?
Man, me and Amber drink a lot, we fight a lot, and she likes to walk away, or actually drive away, and I took her keys from her, so she couldn't drive away. She grabbed her purse, slammed her phone on the ground, and left, and I have not seen her since.
Did you actually see her leave, or you just assumed she left?
No, sir. I begged her to stay on the couch. We fought a little bit more, and I said, well, whatever, Amber, you sleep out here on the couch, I'm going inside. And I went inside. I don't know, it was like 2 or 3 in the morning, and then when I woke up at 9, 10 o'clock Sunday morning, there was a letter on the fucking coffee table.
Has she ever threatened to hurt herself in the past, or was this? Oh, she has.
The last 5 years, it's been her go-to. And that's what I try telling Grandma and Grandpa, too, is she does this to me all the time, almost every weekend. She'll leave, and then she won't come back till Monday or Tuesday. And then my kids get all mad at me because I let her back in.
I hope you don't mind me asking you personal questions, but is it possible she's seeing somebody else and she stays there?
Oh, for sure she is. She's been, that's another thing. That's why we fight all the time. She's been seeing somebody for about 5 years now. And she don't pay our bills. That's why we always fight, man.
Based on Keith and Betty's statements, both were aware Amber had struggled emotionally in the past, but neither realized just how serious the situation had become or how.
I still think that Keith is the one who did it, and he used that to, because if she was already saying it, then the note really wouldn't work because it's unlikely that she would do that. But if she was already saying stuff like that anyway, that just goes to his advantage if he really is the one that actually did it. The one thing that I don't really understand, I mean, of course we got to keep watching, but like in the beginning of the video, obviously that was like a snippet of like we don't know what part is gonna come when they actually find the body in the trash can. But if it's in the house, if they didn't have a warrant, why would you give them permission to search the house knowing if you have her body in
How
the trash can?
tragically wrong their assumptions would soon turn out to be.
Where exactly was the book when you found it?
Right here.
Okay. And you recognized her handwriting?
Yes.
Okay.
It's unmistakable.
Okay.
Scratch.
Okay, this argument, I mean, you guys are arguing about her seeing somebody, or you guys arguing about lots of stuff?
Well, that always comes into play, but this particular argument was about her not paying my mortgage for 6 months. I give her all my money. I just cash my check, and she pays all the bills. And lately, she hasn't been paying her bills.
Hey, Keith, did it get physical at all, or was it just arguing?
Yeah, we've been physical a couple times, but I want to say Saturday night, no.
You know, it's a fair question. Is there any chance that you hurt her in any way?
I fucking hope not, dude. I fucking hope not. But yeah, there's a possibility. I mean, I'm hoping not, but like I said, I don't remember shit. Me and Amber go through this shit all the time. And she always comes back.
Okay.
The only thing I'm worried about is she always goes to her fucking mom's house. She doesn't go anywhere. She does go somewhere else, but she always ends up at her mom's house.
Listening carefully to Keith's account, the officer initially found him credible as he described an argument about money and Amber's alleged infidelity. But the officer's concern grew when Keith admitted he'd been heavily intoxicated and couldn't remember if things turned physical. Suddenly, the possibility that Amber hadn't actually walked away became disturbingly real. Officers now suspected more clues were hidden inside the home. A drunken fight, maybe getting physical. Whatever happened, the answers were likely somewhere inside.
He gave me permission. I have it on my body camera, recorded it, okay? He gave me full permission to look in the house, so...
Well, these crime videos where the people always have the dirtiest houses, bro.
Friendly?
Normally, yes.
Okay, good. Just because, you know... Did we look in there?
It doesn't open.
It doesn't look like it's been disturbed because there's debris on the top of it, but we want to work on opening it?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, I could not do that, bro.
As officers continued their search,
see, I ain't gonna lie, bro. If I'm the cop, bro, I'm closing that thing and going back.
Off. Careful not to alarm the family, neither officers openly acknowledged it yet, but they both recognized the unmistakable stench hanging in the air, the odor of decay. At this point, the only thing they were looking for was the source of that disturbing smell.
Let me get eyes.
Is that finished off up top? Kind of like a flash.
No, it's just that. Hanging
It's right here.
Oh. Uh-huh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Gun. Oh.
Yeah,
Magazine.
I'm not digging through a trash can,
Okay.
bro. I'm the officer. I'm
Do
clocking out and getting a donut game.
Do we want to call someone? Yeah.
One second. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have you stay inside, please.
Putting a box of Uncrustables on top is diabolical.
She's in there.
Inside the trash can in the garage was a gun, and underneath that was Amber's decaying body with a gunshot wound to the head, discarded with the rest of the garbage. This was now a crime scene, and police immediately began to suspect that this was far from self-inflicted.
But when I searched the house, my feel was, something funky. I looked in that trash bin.
Okay.
There was nothing in it.
Well, when was that? When did?
I was here about 9 a.m.
Okay.
Wait. Bro, something is... Okay, first of all, they said they smelled the smell the whole time they were there. So that means it's been there. But she said she was there earlier that day. I mean, obviously we don't know what time it is now, but it's like, I'm assuming in the afternoon. She said she was there at 9. There was nothing in the trash bin. But the body, there's no way that it wasn't, like, she didn't do it once you left at 9 a.m.
Was not, I would have noticed that.
Okay.
The top was the carpets, and because of the smell, I literally find
I'm just going to
many forensic files. It was not there. So somebody's been here.
And she's not
And the
even,
kids were sleeping and
she don't even seem upset.
Okay.
But so somebody
Okay.
did that.
Okay.
Ready? Yeah, partner, what's your first name? Ron. Can you get the kids and just go wait in your house?
Strangely, although Betty had noticed the same foul odor of decay earlier, she didn't realize its implications, instead believing, or perhaps choosing to believe, that all this concern was simply because of the firearm police discovered in the trash can. Betty didn't know it yet, but her statement would soon cast serious suspicion on her, making detectives question whether she herself had played a role in Amber's
Well,
death.
saying that's what,
For
bro.
now, though, officers had to secure the area and move Amber's family away from the gruesome scene.
I don't want the kids to see.
I mean, this isn't missed. So if you lift here, I mean, obviously there's a gun there, but if you lift here, you can see her foot. She weighs about 160, 170 pounds. Right there, where your hand is.
Ugh, bro, the flies, bro. Ew.
So I called Reno. He's calling MCU, and I know he sent you too.
While officers waited for the Major Crimes Unit to arrive and process the scene for forensic evidence, they began to grapple with several troubling inconsistencies surrounding Amber's family. Keith had admitted to being heavily intoxicated the night Amber disappeared. He couldn't say for certain whether his argument with Amber had turned violent, only that things had gotten heated, and that much of the night was a blur. But Keith wasn't the only one officers considered a suspect. Amber's mother, Betty, claimed she had checked the trash can earlier that morning and had seen no sign of Amber's body or the gun. Yet, just
and
hours
Betty
later,
teamed up, bro.
both appeared right there in plain sight, exactly where she swore she'd already searched. Even stranger to officers was Betty's demeanor. Despite the horrifying situation unfolding around her and the possibility that her daughter had taken her own life, she remained unusually calm.
Well,
At
Sam!
times, even casual. And then there was the note. Supposedly written by Amber, its wording struck investigators as strange, too composed, almost performative. Still, in a situation as dark and desperate as contemplating suicide, people sometimes write in ways that defy logic or expectations. At this point, everyone's stories seemed suspiciously incomplete, and anyone could be responsible in the eyes of detectives. Investigators started realizing that Amber's murder might be far more complicated than they initially thought. So, to investigate these disturbing possibilities, police knew they'd soon need to sit down with Amber's family and carefully interview each member to uncover who might be hiding something. But before doing that, officers needed to finish one crucial step: a final, thorough search of the Zotto home, carefully looking for any signs of violence or attempted cover-up. And sure enough, it didn't take long before they started noticing blood spatter throughout the house.
So a lot of these carpet pieces, I wonder if the carpet went all the way back.
Bro, see, it's so many things. Okay, we know she can't kill herself. I'm gonna tell you how, if you still thought that. Because for one, yeah, the gun is in the trash can along with her with the shot in the head, but she's not gonna crawl into the garbage can to shoot herself in the head. And then how will all this stuff end up on top, right? Obviously, nobody else is going in her trash. Bro, it's either Keith or Betty or both. And blood in the house. She's in the trash can. Somebody killed her and then put her in there. If she shot herself, so let's say she did shoot herself in the trash can. How is there blood in the house? Keith definitely did something, but Betty's not innocent.
Yeah, I didn't see like spatter.
I know, right?
So the book was right here. There was space open with the last page showing, and that bill was on top of it. No red pen.
Wait. Nah, Keith's slick, bro.
Got blood on the light switch. We've got a lot of blood on the sink.
Bro, with the kids there, bro.
We left it the way we found it as well, too. You know, the way the door was when we searched. But yeah, she found a little bit of obvious blood in the kitchen and the sink as well, too, so.
Within minutes, officers found clear evidence that something violent had occurred before Amber's body ended up in the trash can. Their first sign that foul play was likely involved. Additionally, the Major Crimes Unit documented critical forensic evidence, including the silver revolver found over Amber's concealed body, blood spatter around the trash can, and debris deliberately placed to hide her remains. Despite these findings pointing towards foul play,
Something else I just thought of. Last time pause. Well, bro, I can pause as much as I want to. Shut up. But, bro, the box of Uncrustables most likely was eaten by the kids. It's on top. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. This is OD now that I'm thinking about it. Because the box of Uncrustables probably by the kids. So they probably threw it away, not even realizing that their mom was underneath. But then I think the gun was also on top as well. Bro, this is crazy.
Detectives still needed clarity on whether Amber's death was a premeditated act or the result of a heated argument that spiraled violently out of control. But they had two major issues preventing them from answering this crucial question. First, Keith was nowhere to be seen, and his phone had gone completely unreachable. Second, and most important, detectives had yet to determine exactly who was responsible, because at this point, several people remained under suspicion, including Amber's mother and even her own children. Police didn't know it yet, but in the coming hours, these questions would be fully answered, and the case would
say that the kids would get Keith did say that the kids would get mad when he let her back
a
in.
completely unexpected turn. So, to fill in these gaps, all of Amber's closest family members were transported to the police station for questioning. Detectives hoped they could uncover each member's potential motives, credibility, and who was hiding secrets, and finally reveal who might actually be responsible for Amber's murder.
I don't want to falsely alarm you, but I also believe in being as honest as we can with with loved ones. We may have found Amber.
No.
Yeah, but we're not.
Yeah, he ain't do it.
We're not completely sure yet, Ron.
Just do it.
He ain't do it.
Just do it.
We're not pointing fingers or making accusations at this time, but is there any reason Keith would hurt her?
I don't know. I really don't. I wish I could tell you more. I don't.
Either accidentally or intentionally, would he hurt or kill her? If he were to mistreat her, would she protect him?
She probably would.
So I went out there and I seen the letter, or it was a 4.5 page note. And it's very important. I looked in that trash bin.
Okay.
It had an ungodly trash odor, honestly. But I tried to, there's some carpet squares were on the top. I tried to lift up, make sure there was nothing under it.
Bro, you're snitching on yourself.
But I don't know what I was expecting, but I did. So I absolutely looked in that bin. That'll be important. And didn't see anything, and I went out.
Let's talk a little bit about, I guess, the fighting and what do you know why?
Yeah, I do know why.
Okay.
My mom cheats on my dad, and like she's not good at it, I guess, and like so
Nah,
he
that's
finds
crazy.
out, and then they just go at it because she like tries to lie about it, but he has evidence of her doing it.
Why are you
and
still
so,
with
like,
her?
It's like, yeah.
Okay. And the last Saturday.
Bro, he said she cheats on him. He always finds out he has evidence, but you're still with her. Bro, it's finna be in May, bro. Just like head outside, gang. Like
Days and just a couple days ago.
Yeah, last Friday was the last time I seen her.
Okay. Did you talk to her at all on the phone or anything?
No, she came over for dinner because my grandma was cooking dinner, and she came over and we had dinner, and then she left, and then yeah.
And then you were there
From
Saturday.
Friday all the way to Sunday.
Okay.
After speaking with Amber's family, investigators finally had some clarity. Betty remained adamant she'd checked that trash can that morning, insisting the gun and Amber's body weren't there, which made her case seem more suspicious. Meanwhile, Amber's father, Ronald, was shocked by his daughter's death and found it was hard to believe Keith was capable of harming her.
Navan is a business travel booking platform that slashes your travel costs. With Navan, employees book
her. As for Amber's children, Annabelle explained they'd both been staying at their grandparents' house during the weekend, clarifying why they didn't hear the gunshot that ended their mother's life. However, Annabelle's unusual calmness and detailed awareness of her parents' unstable marriage raised some concerns about exactly what else the children might know or could still be protecting. After concluding the interviews, investigators were preparing to search for Keith Zotto, the one critical piece still missing. But just before they could act, they received unexpected news from Keith's sister, Susan Russ. It turns out Keith had visited her just hours earlier, and what he confessed would finally expose the horrifying truth behind Amber's murder.
I saw my brother park up there, and so I got the dogs out. And I didn't know the front door was open, and he just came in, and I seen it on his face, and he goes, "You know I don't hate you." That was the first thing out of his mouth, and I said, "I know, I love you, you're my best friend."
Okay.
And then I said, "It's Amber that's trying to keep us apart."
Okay.
And he just looked at me and started crying, and I said, "Oh my God, what did you do?"
Okay.
And I asked him if Amber was okay. And then he looked at me and he said, "You know what? I don't remember anything."
Okay.
I just remember waking up and seeing her at the ground.
Okay.
Hey, for everybody out there, this like if you got a brother or a sister, just whatever, but like your sibling comes and they tell you that, are you telling the cops? Me personally, mind your business.
He asked him what the hell happened to tell me what he did.
Okay.
He said they'd been drinking and fighting all night.
Okay.
It was over money, I guess. Keith opened some bills and found out that the house had been foreclosed on.
Okay.
And that Amber pulled out the gun. And and he hit my brother with it, and then Keith said he took it away, and it just happened like that. He said he blinked his eyes, and that was it.
Wait, so
So
if
yeah,
she pulled out the gun first, is that self-defense?
my eyes too, and I opened them and I seen her on the ground.
Susan's testimony finally cleared up everything for investigators. Keith himself admitted he'd woken up from a blackout to find Amber dead and openly acknowledged a violent confrontation that spiraled completely out of control. It was now clearer than ever that Keith Zotto was at the heart of Amber's murder, and it was time to track him down. Just a couple of hours after detectives left Susan's house, Aurora police received a call they never expected. Keith Zotto had surfaced at his sister's house again, ready to surrender. By now, officers knew Keith had already killed once, and for all they knew, he was still armed and dangerous. So they came prepared. A SWAT team descended upon the location, ready to take Keith down if he made even the slightest wrong move.
It's crazy.
It's gotta be up one more.
It's this one, right?
7-9.
7-9 is this one.
All right. Sorry. Ready? Watch out, Bubba.
It's like Call of Duty, first person.
Show me your hands!
Front door. Ma'am, come to me.
Going out.
I see him. I see him. Come to me.
Going out. Turn right.
Point to me. Come to me.
I got a guy out.
Hands up. Everybody hands up, please. Very good. Walk to my voice. Go hands on.
Stop. Just shoot.
Just walk towards me, nice and easy. Okay? All right. We'll talk to you in a... No, we're not. We're not going to hurt him. Okay? Walk towards me. No. Just keep walking. Walk towards this guy.
Very good. You good, man. Very good. Very good. Very good. Right here. There you go. This guy right there, man. Yes, sir.
Why are you still pointing the guns at them then?
Go ahead of me here.
Hold on. It all looks normal.
Bro, if you just want to hold it, I'll be back with you.
You guys good?
Is that your mom, and who else is the other lady? Gotcha. Okay, man. Very good. We appreciate you coming out, bud. We'll explain it all to you, okay?
Hey, he was ready to surrender.
Okay. Okay. There you go.
Remember, but
Finally, after hours of uncertainty, Keith Zotto surrendered to Aurora police without incident. He was immediately taken into custody and formally processed for the murder of his wife, Amber. Keith would go on to admit to killing Amber late Saturday night, claiming his gun accidentally went off during a drunken argument over money and infidelity. Though he insisted he couldn't remember placing her body in the trash or concealing the crime, Keith accepted responsibility for her death. However, Betty's earlier statement surrounding the infamous trash can remained unclear, and investigators were never able to determine why she didn't see the gun or Amber's body that morning. In May of 2021, Keith Zotto was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole.
I ain't gonna lie. This was a good video, but it's still like a few questions that I have. Because for one, how is it not self-defense if she was the one who pulled out the gun? And two, bro, Betty is not innocent. Cause how, bro, either she did something or she's blind. Cause how do you look in a smelly trash? You say you smelled the bad smell, obviously like rotten body or whatever. You smelled it, but you didn't see the gun or the body in there, and you moved the carpets around and stuff like that. And then, bro, the notes. So did he write the note, or I don't know, bro. It's still a lot of questions, but let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, peace.